going to learn how to wonder about a topic to push your thinking. Good writers know that it pays off to let your mind wonder about an issue or topic when you first read it. Once you've wondered about that issue, then you can start to reflect on how it might affect your life. Here are the steps for wondering about an issue when you first read it. First, you read, then you quickly identify the main idea. Then you begin to wonder. You let your mind wander. Some prompts you might want to kind of have written next to you are, what questions do I have about this part of the text? Or how does this relate to me? Or how can this relate to me or my community? Jot down those wonderings and keep reading. Watch as I do these steps using this article. What too much screen time does to your eyes. As people of all ages are spending more hours focused on digital screens, their eyes are getting an exhausting endurance workout. You can imagine if you were at the gym and you held a dumbbell, your bicep would be extremely sore 9 hours later. Same thing for your eyes. You have to take breaks to relieve those muscles. Well, immediately I'm stopping and I'm thinking that this is probably the main idea. It's right there in the title, the main idea. The effect of screen time on a person's eyes. I jot down the main idea because I want to make sure that as I read, I understand what's going on. And a wondering that I already have is thinking about if I'm working out at the gym and my muscles get sore, I'm thinking about my eyes and how, is this why my eyes hurt at night? Because I do. At home, I wear glasses, and typically it's after a full day of teaching when I'm on my screen very often. I'm going to keep reading. Eye strain from hours of screen time can result in eye irritation, fatigue, or blurred vision, according to a new report. A vast majority of Americans surveyed, 93%, spends 2 or more hours per day in front of some sort of screen. I lost my place. From televisions to computers to smartphones to e-readers. Now, that makes me wonder a little bit. And it kind of scares me too, if I'm honest, that 93% of adult Americans spend 2 or more days, too late at night, I haven't had my coffee, spends 2 hours or more per day in front of some sort of screen. I know that I definitely spend more than 2 hours a day in front of a screen. I wonder how many hours I actually do spend. That could be a cool experiment to do one day. 61% said they spend 5 or more hours, and 30% said they look at screens more than 9 hours per day. Bingo. That's definitely me. Definitely me and most teachers, actually. I'm beginning to wonder, should there be limits on how much time teachers spend on their computers? I use my computer for everything. Well, almost everything. Lesson planning, grading, emailing, communicating with you all on Google Classroom. Yikes. Most digital screens are backlit and emit blue light or high energy visible light wavelengths, which the group said can cause irritation and possibly long-term damage to the retina. In addition to taking breaks from focus on digital screens and using eyewear, doctors recommend adjusting light exposure to help with eye strain, both indoors and outdoors. This is something I actually do. My iPhone has a night vision option. I wish my computer had the same. I wonder what I could do to help this during the school day. The computers aren't going anywhere. Mobile devices aren't going anywhere, Starr added. They're very useful, obviously. We're not saying don't use them. We're saying when you do use them wisely and smartly. Now, this makes me wonder, do I plan to use technology in lessons that don't really need technology? In other words, do I sometimes use tech in my classroom when it doesn't need to be used? So I want you to notice the steps that I took as I read this article. First, I read, and then I let my mind wonder in order to relate to whatever the text was saying. So I read, I let my mind wonder, I jotted down those notes, and then I kept reading. These are the steps that you can take to wonder about a topic in order to push your thinking and make a connection with what you are reading.